Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hudson Valley Jam in-depth artist interview. I'm joined by my co-host, Alex Herrera. Hey, Alex.
Hello, Scotty Pup.
And our first artist, RichSteele, out in Las Vegas. Hey, Rich.
Hey, Scott. Great to be here.
Great to be here with you guys.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Rich.
Alex and I have been doing the show for the past couple of years, and I've been doing the show for like 9 years at area24radio.com. But this is our first podcast, and it may be a video cast, being that we're recording this on Zoom. So I asked Rich if he would be our first artist, and so I sent him a bunch of questions, and let's get started. What do you say?
Let's go.
Okay. So Rich, tell me about some of your early music influences. What kind of music did your parents listen to?
Well, they didn't really listen to music around the house. My brother and sister were avid 45 collectors, put it that way.
Are they
so
older
all
than you?
Yes. So I listened to doo-wop music. I listened to Bobby V, and all the pop people, Freddie Cannon.
Freddie Cannon, Palisades Park.
Yeah,
that's right.
Wow.
So that was my first, introduction to music. And so we were playing the 45s around the house.
Right.
And then the Motown music started coming around.
Uh-huh.
That's why I started to play a little bit. And listening to Wilson Pickett, Otis Redding, Booker T. That stuff was just, I gravitate to the soul music.
Did your parents give you a guitar as a Christmas present or a birthday present or something?
Not really. My brother played drums.
Okay. And
they bought him a nice 1964 Slingerland Black Diamond Pearl drum set.
Nice.
Oh, my.
Yes, a very nice set. And he took lessons. Then he stopped playing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came along and wanted a guitar, they said,
We're going by the way your sibling acted.
Right. Yeah, your brother's going to drop, blah, blah, blah. So I had a little paper route, and I got a little guitar.
Mm-hmm. What kind of guitar did you get? Like a Silvertone?
Yeah, not even like it was a knockoff of a 335 from Japan or something, and I really wanted like a Gibson 330 like Gene Cornish played. The Rascals were big, and he was one of my influences. I really liked that music, and then we started, like playing dances very soon, in the 60s.
Now, this was like in junior high school, early high school?
Yes, junior high.
And you grew up in Yonkers, right?
Right. Born in Yonkers, raised in Yonkers, Park Hill Avenue.
Did you play in a band with Bill Edwards or with Tom
Yes.
Duffy, or?
Okay. You want to go through the bands? I have. I went through this and that.
Okay.
So in the early, I guess late 60s, we had a band called the Poor Little Rich Kids.
Uh-huh.
Like Rascals kind of thing, and we were playing soul music, and then the next band was Odyssey. Gary Adamson on drums, me on guitar, and Richie Janatone on bass, and we were doing Cream and Hendrix and Grand Funk. Now,
where did you play? Where did you play? At schools? At dances? At schools.
Dances.
Yeah.
Yeah, the church basements and halls and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when you're at junior high school, that's really your only option. You're not going to be playing at a bar.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we got to bars pretty soon after that, and because we could sing. The three of us had some harmony, so it was fun. And then Gary was playing really cool. That's what our first band together. And that was like, Odyssey. Then Slaughterhouse comes, and that's with Bill Edwards.
Okay.
And me. Chuck St. Troy was in that band. We had two singers. Eddie Sable on bass, Pete Scat on drums, Tony DeRosa on the keyboards.
Nice.
And that was a lot of rock stuff, and Chuck and Billy out front. And, we were just lucky to, I never played, we just taught ourselves how to do this stuff. And never took a lesson or anything, just listened to records and watched other guitarists. Jay Savino and he had a band called Ox and Prophecy, playing the 4.5. We started sneaking in there, seeing the better bands. Twisted Sister was on the circuit back then.
Wow.
And the Good Rats.
Isn't that Snyder, David Snyder's cousin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But they were I Hate Disco band. You bring disco records, and D would bite them in half. And that was a stick that we hate disco, we're rockers. And they were glam, all dressed up. And they used to play the 4.5 in White Flames. And we eventually started to get into the clubs.
So when you were in high school, and like shortly after high school, you started playing out in bars. I mean, because drinking age was 18 back then, right? So you could play in bars. I remember.
Yeah, when we were playing in high school, we were in the bars.
Okay.
The local bars would hire us,
Yeah.
And, but I got to Rockland around like 72, I think, is when I went up and
You moved.
I went away to school, to RCC.
I did something similar. I went away to school at Orange County Community College. I would come back on.
There you go.
Yeah. So
so that's where I met the Riverdale guys who became Tracer, and that's the band. We used to play the Orangeburg Pub and the Copper Kettle and Joker and New City Steakhouse, all those joints, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you guys play together in the early 70s?
Well, actually, I was playing with a band called Slither.
Oh, yeah, he was in the rock bands.
Okay.
Yeah, full garb, makeup. We looked beautiful, and
you're still beautiful.
Thank you very much, Rich. I appreciate that. But we had a discussion at one point where we wanted a second guitarist, and Chris had mentioned Rich's name and said, maybe we should get Rich in here to play and stuff like that. But for some reason, I guess it didn't happen. And I have my theory. I think you guys could have been brothers the way you guys looked back in the day. You could have been brothers. Yeah. So I think he might have said, nah, he pulled the Prince thing. Nah, he too pretty. So we ended up with Rollo T. Jordan with the guitar player. So he was out of the Bronx, I think.
Uh-huh.
And then and that was it. But other than playing club dates together that Rich and I used to play constantly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We weren't really ever in a band per se.
I see. Oh, okay.
But I knew all his guys. I knew most of the guys from Riverdale, and Pete Green and
Eddie.
Eddie, yeah, Eddie. I run into Eddie at ShopRite. So yeah.
Listen, this might be a good time to play one of Rich's tunes. So, Rich, the first thing I got up on the list here is "Modern Man" from your CD "Dose of East Coast." Tell us a little bit about this tune and the CD. What is the Dose of East Coast about?
Well, I'm just a New Yorker stuck here in Vegas, man. So even when I speak to you guys, I'm getting a dose of East Coast here,
right.
because I just love New York, and so it's a tribute to New York, and I do miss, a lot. I feel like I moved to Vegas. I went on vacation and got a job,
Uh-huh.
And it's been a while, but Modern Man's just a tribute to our lives together and how we get in relationships and things that keep us together.
Okay.
It's a positive song.
Before we listen to it, you mentioned the other day that you were working on a new CD, and it will be your 16th CD.
17th.
Wow. Wow.
A man's got some writing skills.
I say so.
I'm lucky that I have this inspiration. I'm inspired by you and Alan. All my friends inspire me. Life inspires me.
Mm-hmm.
I write about what I think about life. I'm a confessional songwriter.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to listen to Dose of East Coast from RichSteele, Modern Man here on the Hudson Valley Jam Artist In-Depth Interview, tune number 1. Enjoy.
All right.
came, they lost their way. Time to say goodbye, sweet love. Things won't be the same, so walk away. The rain's falling down, down. Won't be hanging round this town. He's a modern man, got a pretty wife, 2 young kids. It's a happy life. He's a modern man, works every day, does all he can. What can I say? Never say never, that's what they say. 20 years later, you just can't let it go. When you hear that voice from yesterday, but don't you stop by and say hello. Take a second chance and let her know. He's a modern man, got a pretty wife, 2 young kids. It's a happy life. He's a modern man, works every day, does all he can. What can I say?
All right, so you guys met first doing club dates with Abe and Jim in the Cameo band. Is that when you guys met?
Ave? You mean Ave Carroll?
Abe Carroll.
Oh, yeah,
No,
Alex, I met with Jim Henning.
Yeah.
Well,
Jim
Abe and
Cameo.
Jim had a partnership for a while, and then they kind of.
Oh, with all those guys.
Right.
And
That was early.
Lucas and Abe, they were all partners at one time. They were all in the same band at one time.
Right.
My early club dates were a little different. I started with Gary Andrews' orchestra, which the other guitarist was Denny. That's where I met him.
Okay.
He was the other guitarist in that off. I know he worked with other ones, but
Yeah.
he was an influence of me when I went to see him play a club date, because back then we were the rock guitarists. We sat there, get one ready, kid. You went up, you'd hit the key, you counted off, and that was it. Then you go sit down.
Right.
We weren't allowed to play it on the standards and stuff.
Right.
And Denny could play the standards.
Could do that.
Yeah, but Denny had that skill because he
Yeah.
studied, I guess, right?
He was the best. I mean, he was incredible at doing crowd control, and his songs. It was perfect. You could.
He was a great front man.
Yeah.
But I met Denny with Gary Andrews, which was called Ferrara, and that's why I was doing my club dates for like $71.49 or something.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to Rockland, I had experience with club dates. By then, I started to learn the standards and stuff.
Yeah.
Denny actually played my first wedding. He was the guitarist.
Wow.
In I had the Gary Andrews band because I worked for them, so they did it. And I said, I want Denny to play, And he played my wedding.
Wow.
In Blauvelt.
Denny has a studio down in Florida now. It's called Storm Music. He bought this house and gutted it and converted it to a professional recording studio. And he's got a whole circle of people there that come in. He's got other engineers that come in and man the board. And he's been doing a lot of work with Jeff Gans, who has moved to Florida. They do
Jeff Gans. I love Jeff Gans.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's very talented, Denny. I like him, man. Good stuff.
Yeah. So listen, let's play a second song.
All right.
New York Exile record.
And New York theme, huh?
Yeah, definitely Rich. So before we take a break, tell us about this track, Rich.
Well, it's just, I miss New York, and I feel, a wanting of New York. I miss the food, the people, the smell, all that stuff of New York. And out here, you're on a cruise ship out here. It's totally different.
Yeah.
But it's a cool tune, me missing New York.
All right. So let's listen to that, and we'll be back.
Seaport with your best escort.
When did you move to Las Vegas?
2005. I was actually living in Pelham at the time,
Okay.
in Westchester, and I just felt like I had just recorded. That was my first inspirational thing from 2000 to 2005, DBG era, and so I was in there, and I just thought about a change.
That's Deadbeat Girlfriend.
And
You were telling us the other day when we had a chat about Demolition Man, and is when your early days of having your own like record label and sending out CDs. When was that? Was that like
that's 2000 to 2005 when I was in Pelham.
Okay.
I was really inspired. I did 8 albums in 5 years.
What kind of a studio did you have? Was it a reel-to-reel studio or really early digital?
No, digital. The Soundcraft mixers I have here,
Yeah, the same
I
one.
still have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my analog studios were in Nyack.
Okay.
Tape there.
Mm-hmm.
But I did real well with college radio. Some DJs got my stuff spread around, and and I was selling CDs like crazy on my website.
Wow.
And
back when people actually buying music, no one buying.
Yes, yeah, and it was great. I just kept putting out more product, and the kids kept buying it.
Mm-hmm.
I got lucky for a while.
Yeah.
So I come to Vegas in 2005, and nothing.
What precipitated the move to Vegas? So why did you want to move from Pelham to Las Vegas? You wanted to change your pace?
Well, Sarah and she was living out in Vegas, and I was in New York. And we were going back and forth. So eventually I came out. Export.
I see. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I thought about a new city. I'd been here before, and maybe inspired and do that. But I really didn't have any inspiration for almost 8 years out here for some reason. So I was playing gigs and doing what I got to do. I worked at the Wynn as a tech on the corporate end, doing corporate events, sound, video, lighting, all types of stuff.
Wow.
Whatever I could do.
Was that fun?
Yeah.
I
got to
a lot of good people and learn a lot of stuff. Right?
Well, the corporate events back then, Stevie Nicks played, Rod Stewart played, all these artists come in. So we would set up the sound system. Their people would run it, and we tear it down. But we'd be around for the show and stuff like that. But there was a lot of, good artists that the Eagles, Sting, George Benson, all types of people would do corporates. And then Obama mentioned that stuff about you shouldn't be spending all your money out there in Vegas. And they stopped all that corporate stuff. Or they stopped spending big money.
Wow.
Yeah. I met Paul McCartney.
You did?
Nice.
What was that?
Someone hired, some rich gambling Asian guy hired Robin Williams, John Fogerty, and Paul McCartney to play his birthday party.
Oh, my God.
So we set up two ballrooms. One ballroom we set up like a stadium for Paul, put in stadium seating. The other ballroom was for the people. John Fogerty was out there, and Robin Williams opened for him.
Wow.
And
did you actually get to meet Paul and shake his hand?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He came out. He was very friendly with everyone.
Wow.
He's a Beatle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a John Lennon story. So we used to play at this club called Home, which is on 90th and 1st on the east side there. And Elephant's Memory used to play them.
Wow.
You know who they are?
Oh, yeah.
Band. And so we were like a pop band, and they said that John would come in once in a while. We played there 2 or 3 times. So one night when they're playing and opens the door, John comes walking in. Nobody's going near him. He sits at the bar. He's having a smoke, doing a beer. He's listening to the band a little bit. And as he leaves, he just goes like this to me. Went, okay, Wow. But, John Lennon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rich, talk about emotional noise.
Emotional noise. Emotional noise is a lot of different things. It's the stuff in your head that doesn't shut up, and we all have that.
Oh yeah.
And so it was just a way for me to vent about, my inner child screaming around about things and trying to work out our issues. And I'm glad we don't, because it keeps inspiring me, this stuff. I don't get them all worked out, but I do get some worked out, I guess. Emotional Noise is a cool record. It deals with those little bugs in our heads when we're falling asleep at night. And they just annoy us, or they help us, or it's just part of, I guess, our lives. We dream about things, and sometimes we never really remember the dreams, and they become emotional noise. And then eventually we do hear about them, and could be something, a week from now or a year from now. Yeah, I turn a lot of them into songs. I always wake up with something in the morning, and sometimes I get a little melody or I get a little lyric, and it's from that stuff. But I think I'm blessed to have all this stuff going on that I could
you can use
use in a creative spirit. And I write songs. I got like 5 or 6 songs written for the next record already. But I just never stop. And I get a title and I'm off to the races. I don't have a title, nothing's happening. So I need my topic. You get that, and you tell a story about it.
All right, so let's listen to Emotional Noise from Time Will Tell, RichSteele, and we'll be right back.
Young, I didn't understand. Just a boy talking like a man. Mama said you should act your age. Don't be in a hurry to turn the page. Time will tell, where do we go from here? Time will tell, the laughter and the tears. Time will tell, where do we go from here? Time will tell, time will tell. I got my crib, my own set of wheels. Go where I want and when I feel. This pretty girl, she's right by my side. Living the dream, it's great to be alive. Time will tell, where do we go from here? Time will tell, the laughter and the tears. Time will tell, where do we go from here? Time will tell, time will tell. What I know now, I didn't know then. The good and the bad will take me to the end. Time will tell, where do we go from here? Time will tell, the laughter and the tears. Time will tell, where do we go from
Okay.
Hey, we're back.
That was
it's
Time Will
Time Will
Tell
was the
from
song.
the Emotional Noise album.
Thank you, Al.
Scott, you're giving me emotional noise, Scott.
Am I keep messing that up?
That's okay.
That's okay. I corrected you.
Thank you.
Must have been all them thoughts coming in from the aliens.
That's right.
Got to wear one of them aluminum hats.
God is transmitting once again.
Mhm.
Very nice.
So I think last time I asked you about the remaking of the Tracer record.
Right, yes.
Something that both of you guys are working on now, right?
Yes, we are.
Are
Yes,
you
we're gonna.
using any of the original tracks or all new stuff?
Some new stuff. There's 2 or 3 existing, and we're gonna write some new ones.
Okay.
And we're just gonna try to keep that 70s kind of rock, guitarish kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
You know.
the tracks that you sent me, I mean, even though they were done a long time ago, I mean, they sounded fine. They sounded great. I mean, there's really nothing much I could do to them except, unless you've been writing new stuff for this. Have you spoken to Ed at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been speaking to Ed and Jamie about it. Yeah. Yeah, I got 3 things written.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And and we're going to use those existing tracks. We're just going to, do some more stuff to them. But I think you're right. We'll leave them alone. So those were done, I think, early 90s or late 80s or something.
Yeah.
But they're analog recordings. They sound great.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hey, there's a lot of people that like analog better than digital, So. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, digital is unforgiving. It doesn't,
It's so much easier to edit, though.
Yes, but that's it's making things easier, but it doesn't. When you move a fade or digital world, you don't hear it. You got to keep moving. It's just you got to have your sound and everything going in. Period. There's no fixing the mix in the digital world. Analog, warm tape, warm consoles, tube gear. It just sounds great. Even if you have bad songs, it doesn't matter. It sounds great. Right?
So when do you expect this record to be finished? Before the end of the year, maybe?
We're shooting for, the end of September, something like that.
Okay. I look forward to hearing some of that stuff. Where did you guys used to play with this group?
With Tracer?
Yeah.
All over Rockland.
Yeah, but I never played with Tracer. It was Pete Green, right? Pete Green was your drummer.
Peter Green. Yeah, Peter passed away 06, I think. And we played
Orangeburg Pub.
Nyack, Orangeburg Pub, Cop Kettle, New City Steakhouse, Munchies, JT Richards. Oh God.
Did you ever play at the Turning Point or the early Turning Point?
No.
One?
No, we're too loud to go in. No, we never played at the Turning Point.
Did you ever play at the Red Rail in Nanuet?
Oh yeah. River Eel played at the Red Rail.
That was so much fun. That was a cool place.
Yeah, remember the band Truth?
Oh yes.
Oh. Truth.
Truth. Oh my God, what a band!
TRUTH. Truth.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember them.
Yeah, one night we were at the Red Rail watching a blues band, and it was snowing. 10 people in the place. All of a sudden the door opens, and there's this giant Parker jacket all covered with snow. And everybody in the place looks, so this guy walks in, walks up to the band, and he's just standing real close to the band. And he's got the snow all over him with the Parker on. And so they finished playing, and the guy gets up and gets behind the piano. It's Dr. John.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Max Stepanek. Yeah, he walked in. He knew the guys in the band. I guess they invited him or whatever. And he has his Parker with the snow. He's like jamming. And it wasn't really that crowded of it, but it was great, All right, so I want to show you guys a photograph, okay?
All right.
And this photograph has been on my console here for the past couple of years. I want to see if so we're going to see this. All right, so you see I'm in that picture, correct?
Are you you're in the bottom right?
Yeah, I'm getting my hair pulled, and Mark Cunningham is next to me. So next to him is Felix Pappalardi.
Tall guy with the white scarf?
Yeah, that's Felix.
Wow.
And because Felix was the music director on the kids' show I did, so we were all hanging out for like a couple of years together.
What was that show?
Hot Hero Sandwich. That was in '79.
Oh, Hot Hero Sandwich, yeah.
Yeah. Next to him is Steve Marriott.
Oh, wow.
Humble Pie.
Uh-huh.
Faces.
Nice.
And we couldn't figure out who that was, but it took a while for me passing the photo around. And you could look up on the stage, and there's this group playing there called The Mix.
I see.
That's Corky Lang's drum set. He was in that band.
Wow.
So this is at the old Ritz on 13th Street
Uh-huh.
before it moved uptown. But I think it's a really cool shot. Have those guys.
Yeah.
You know, it just stays here under my monitor.
Uh-huh. Little reminder.
Right.
So, Rich, do you play out in Vegas ever with the band?
Well, when I first came out here, I was.
Uh-huh.
And it's really interesting. The weddings out here
Mm-hmm.
are short and small because the people come out here and, you know, they invite 20 people maybe come out to see them get married.
Uh-huh.
And really, so we used to get these weddings and maybe we're there an hour and a half.
Wow.
Tops. Because the people want to eat, get in the envelope, and go to the casino.
Mm.
They're on vacation in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So the weddings aren't these big extravaganzas like we're used to back east.
Right.
They're short and sweet, blah, blah, blah.
Are the casinos open now?
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, but
open, full
but
force.
there's not a lot of people in them at the time. There's not a lot of people getting in out of Vegas.
Right.
But when I was here, when I first started playing, there's 3 shifts. There's a 10 a.m. shift, there's a 2 o'clock shift, there's a 6 shift, and then there's a 2 a.m. There's 4 shifts you could play out here all over the place. So sometimes we get to 10 a.m. So I'm walking in, I'm tuning up, and the people are going, relax, I'm just tuning up. It's okay, you know, because they're lit already. They've been drinking for 3 hours since 4 in the morning. So the audience is primed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Period. They just, you know. So we would play. Just some nice rooms we played, you know, and making a good living until around 2008. That's when the economy, like, all right.
Yeah.
And the DJs attacked and really took over everything. There was no more. Yeah, I don't think there's any casino that has a band in it anymore.
Wow. Well, listen. Let's listen to your last track for the podcast here, from the Rags to Riches record.
Yes.
Without.
World Without.
World Without. Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yes,
Yes.
you did, Scott. You've been practicing. We're proud of you.
Am I recording this? I hope
Yes,
so.
you
Yes.
are.
Yes, you are. Yes. And World Without, you know, it's about what our comforts in our lives. And they don't have to be, you know, money and stuff like that, but stuff that we enjoy. And the world would not be a good place without the stuff we enjoy, I guess, is the theme that runs rampant through me sometimes. But, yeah, let it roll.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Time will tell who you are, like the moon in the sky.
Okay,
Excellent.
we're back.
back.
Rich, thanks so
All
much for joining us today for our premiere Hudson Valley Jam in-depth artist interview podcast, our premiere podcast.
Well, thank you so much, Scott and Alex. It's
Yeah,
a pleasure
Sure.
hanging with you guys and chatting, and I
You
enjoy it
expect to
very
be back
much.
in New
Thank
York
you.
anytime soon?
No one goes to New York anymore.
No one goes anywhere.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'll be back, but we could always podcast each other sometime.
Got a deal.
All
That's
right,
good.
baby. Thank you so much.
All right.
Well, thanks
It's a
for
pleasure,
joining
Rich.
us, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
All right, peace.
Nice.